You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for She Said. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. She Said was a special presentation at the 2022 Denver Film Festival. It is a 2022 biographical drama directed by Maria Schrader. The film tells the story of two journalists at the New York Times who worked together to publish a report exposing the sexual misconduct that took place at the hands of one of Hollywood's most powerful producers, Harvey Weinstein. The film stars Carey Mulligan, Zoe Kazan, Jennifer Ely, and Patricia Clarkson in our leading roles. And as someone who loves and talks a whole lot about film, follows a story I was pretty familiar with, one that the entire world is at least aware of. So it's pretty interesting to tell a real life story, a big news story that's less than a decade old, and to give it the fictionalized drama treatment. But I have to say, the trailers definitely intrigued me. They had me at least interested, if not fully hooked. But She Said turns out to be the real deal. This was quite the riveting biographical drama. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. I like to start with our actors who really bring the material to life. Carey Mulligan is pretty much always fantastic, and this film is no exception. She is really great, and it helps that her character is just this really strong, fiery woman amongst this landscape. But it's also nice that they juxtapose that with a more fragile side of these reporters' home lives, and we get to see a different side to her and this great range from Mulligan. Zoe Kazan has not really gotten the opportunity to flex her acting muscle over the years like Mulligan has, but she more than stands her ground here as a much more warm, inviting presence overall. Then we have Jennifer Ely, who is fantastic. Honestly, a stellar performance. I love Jennifer always. Every time I ever see her pop up in a film, I get excited because I know she's going to deliver. And once again, she delivers an amazing performance with really limited screen time. Really makes her stamp on the film. And I really enjoyed the overall story and the structure it was told in. As I said, we don't just fully focus in on the reporting, the investigation itself. We get to see the entire journalism process and the grind that is journalistic news reporting and the unglamorous toll it takes on your life. And I really appreciated the film kind of pulling back that layer and giving us a less Hollywood version of what it's like to break a big case like this. Yes, it's amazing, and obviously you're doing fantastic work, but let's not pretend that fantastic work doesn't come at a cost. The story itself is already riveting, but the way that the film unlays it and unravels this process is really engaging. I commend Maria Schrader for her work in structuring this film and directing it to be as effective and intriguing as it is. As we're working through all the procedurals, it has this thrilling element to it. The structure does a great job at setting up stakes. So even though we know ultimately what happens with Harvey Weinstein once this is all said and done, we know how the article comes out and what is exposed, you're still left with an edge of your seat drama here that has you feeling the stakes for all of those involved. And a great deal of that goes to Rebecca Lankowitz and her wonderful script, because I think it really centers focus. In tandem with the direction, it really centers focus on the survivors, on those who were directly affected by Harvey Weinstein. It gives us their names, it tells us their stories, and by the end, it really, really leads to their voice. Instead, I'm so glad they framed this to give the voice back to the women who were hurt by this man. And even more so, they do a great job of uplifting them and revalidating them, their worth, and their experience. I think it was really beautifully handled in that regard. Well, then, what doesn't She Said do so well? Honestly, I think the main problem is an inherent problem with a film that's focused on the journalistic process. And it's the fact that it feels repetitive at a certain point. Because honestly, this process is repetitive. To dot all those I's and cross those T's to get your sources and make sure that you are crafting something that will hold up, that is legal, that is ethical, is a repetitive, painstaking process. It's hard to depict that without also making your film feel like it's kind of falling into a repetitive process. Because as we hit that final stretch of this film, we're hearing so many of the same phrases over and over again. We're being asked the same questions. We're being hit with the same problems. Again, reaffirming what the point is in showcasing journalism. However, when you're crafting a film, it's hard to overcome something like that. And I don't think the film fully does, because there is a moment where you start to feel like, okay, time to move into the final stretch of the film, and it's feeling a little bit too repetitive. And I do wish the film had found other ways to make itself just a tad more cinematic in its presentation. Visually, it doesn't do much to really like sing off of the screen. It's perfectly well shot. It looks nice, but when your film is so story heavy and word heavy, dialogue heavy, I think there was a missed opportunity to really take it into that visual medium in a more significant way. But honestly, I think She Said is a riveting film, tells this amazing story in the most thoughtful and respectful way I think it could have been told. You have some strong performances and a great script behind an amazing true story that literally changed the world. I have a feeling She Said is definitely going to be a crowd pleasing favorite heading into this award season. I can certainly see why. She Said definitely does deserve your full price ticket when it goes nationwide into theaters November 18th. So that is my review for She Said. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see She Said, or have you already checked it out? Let me know your thoughts either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.